As I covered in a previous video, the CV90 chassis has played a huge role in shaping the armed forces of several Nordic countries, and this success has led to BAE trying to market successor projects, one of these being the CV90-120, essentially being the same concept of the CV90-105, but with a new turret design featuring a 120mm high pressure gun, as well as 21st century survivability upgrades such as a laser warning receiver. Alright lads, today I'm going to be talking about the performance, weapons and playstyle of the CV90-120. Starting as always with the basics, and this vehicle is a rank 7 battle rating 10.3 light tank located in the Swedish tech tree. Being a rank 7 tech tree vehicle, it will come stock and will only be effective at researching other rank 6 and 7 vehicles. To unlock this tank, you'll have to grind out 390,000 research points before purchasing the CV for a cost of 1,020,000 silver lions. After this, you'll have to add the tank to your lineup for another cost of 290,000 silver lions. You can then additionally purchase the expert and ace qualifications for the tank, costing 1,020,000 silver lions and 2,100 golden eagles respectively. At the time of recording, this tank has a pretty high repair cost of 9,239 silver lions. This is around the same as the M182 Abrams, which does make it a little bit costly in my opinion. Going on to the rewards, and the vehicle has a base RP modifier of 2.32, which gives you an RP modifier of 232% with a free-to-play account and 464% with a premium account. Your base silver lion modifier of 1.5 is pretty high, but with the repair cost also being high, you can't really afford to take many risky plays in this vehicle. You can expect a 150% silver lion modifier with a free-to-play account and 225% with a premium account. So is it even worth grinding out nearly 400,000 research points for a light tank? Or should you just stick to unlocking the Stridsvagn 122? If you'd like to know the answers to these questions, then stick around for the rest of the video. Starting with the engine and performance, and when stock, the tank comes with a 593 horsepower engine, which rises to 670 horsepower when fully upgraded. Combined with the vehicle's weight of 27.7 tons, the upgraded engine gives you a power to weight ratio of 24 horsepower per ton. This is pretty good in comparison to the other CV90 chassis vehicles, and it gives you around the same level of acceleration as the Leopard 2A5. But due to your tank weighing much less than the Leopard 2A5, you do feel much more responsive. Moving on to the transmission, and the tank has a top speed of 77 km per hour and manages a very good 48 km per hour in reverse. While this top speed is very high, most maps in War Thunder don't allow you to achieve it, mainly due to soft terrain such as mud and sand slowing you down. Being designed for a NATO country, the tank is capable of neutral steering, which increases its manoeuvrability, and combined with your high speed and power, allows you to quickly nip around the battlefield. Overall, the CV90-120 is very mobile, and actually outcompetes the Stridsvagn 122 in terms of speed. This speed, combined with the relatively low profile of the tank, allow it to be incredibly nimble on the battlefield. Okay, so moving on to the armour and survivability, the first thing to mention is that the CV90-120 has a crew of 4 men, with a driver at the front and 3 men in the fighting compartment. Being a light tank, you are obviously designed to be lightweight. This usually means sacrificing the vehicle's armour protection. While you at least do get rolled steel instead of aluminium, you don't get any type of composite armour, which in the world of top tier basically means you're armourless. On top of this lack of armour, you can also be hull broken. This means if you are shot in a major component of the tank, such as the cannon breech or engine, you will be instantly killed. This only applies when you are being shot at by high caliber heat FS, as well as APF SDS rounds. This issue is made worse by the fact that the engine of this vehicle is located at the very front of the tank. While the MacGyver's front mounted engine acts as a sponge for incoming rounds, the fact your tank got hull break basically means any round hitting the front of your vehicle will damage the engine and instantly kill the tank. The 120 also has a laser warning receiver, which will alert you if someone uses a laser rangefinder against you. This works with enemy tanks as well as helicopters, and will allow you to start manoeuvring to avoid the presumable incoming fire. Alright, so moving on to the arm performance itself, and to test this, we will be using the 3BM42 Mango rounders fired by the T80U. Starting as always with the lower frontal plate, and as you can see we have a measly 30mm of armour protection. If we move to the upper frontal plate, it rises up to around only 80mm of armour protection. Taking a trip up to the turret, and regardless of the angling, you have a pretty much constant 45mm of armour protection all across the turret. Moving to the side of the vehicle, and we have a terrible 9mm of armour on the side of the hull, and a slightly better 21mm of armour on the side of the turret. Moving to the rear of the vehicle, and both the hull and turret are pretty much 20mm thick. Overall, the armour of the CV90-120 is almost non-existent, and you shouldn't be exposing yourself to enemy guns. Stay in cover, and use your great mobility to get around the battlefield, moving from cover to cover. Moving on to the weapons and ammunition, and this tank is armed with a 120mm CTG smoothbore cannon. It is a high pressure gun and is similar to the cannon found on the Centauro MGS. Its vertical guidance characteristics is a bit of a mixed bag. It has an above average 22 degrees of gun elevation, but with a below average 8 degrees of gun depression. While not as good as the NATO standard 10 degrees of gun depression, it shouldn't limit your playstyle too much. The tank can also carry 45 rounds in total and has a 12 round autoloader with a reload time of 5 seconds. Being a light tank, this ammunition is pretty vulnerable, mainly due to the lack of both armour and blowout panels, but as we've already talked about, you have pretty poor survivability anyway. If we take a look at the reloading skill under the loader section, and as I mentioned, you have a high capacity autoloader with a fixed reload speed of 5 seconds. This means your reloading skill has no real purpose in this vehicle, making it very friendly for low skill crews. The actual reload speed of 5 seconds is also incredibly good. You beat most NATO main battle tanks, and are a full 2 seconds faster than Soviet main battle tanks. Moving on to the targeting skill under the gunner section, and we can see that you have a base turret rotation speed of 21 degrees per second, which rises to 30 degrees per second with an ace crew. This is a little bit slow compared to most main battle tanks, but it hasn't caused me too many issues in game. Next we move on to modifications, and I want to point out that this tank gets access to a laser rangefinder, a laser warning receiver as I mentioned, as well as 3rd generation thermal imaging in both the gunner and commander sights. Moving on to the ammunition, and you can see that we have 4 rounds available, 1 stock and 3 unlockable. Your stock round is the DM12A1 Heat FS round. It travels at 1140 meters per second and can penetrate 480mm of armour. This round is a little bit underwhelming, especially with all the composite and ERA armour packages at battle rating 10.3. Luckily for you however, you are able to unlock an APFSDS round as a rank 1 modification. This round is the DM23 shell. It travels at 1680 meters per second and can penetrate 418mm of flat armour. The next round you unlock is the M95 high explosive round. This is similar to the high explosive rounds found on many Soviet main battle tanks. It contains 3.54 kilograms of TNT filler and can penetrate 34mm of armour at any angle. Your final round is essentially a clone of the CL3143 shell, and it is arguably the best round in the game. It travels at a whopping 1705 meters per second and can punch through 625mm of flat armour, and even against armour angled at 60 degrees, it can still penetrate 361mm of armour. The CV9120 also has a very wide field of view, as well as 3 times and 10.5 times optical zoom. This zoom and field of view, combined with the 3rd generation thermal imaging, make you an incredibly effective scout vehicle, and with your high power gun, you can locate, track and kill pretty much anything on the battlefield. With that overview finished, we'll now go on to some gameplay, followed by a conclusion. Alright, so welcome to some gameplay. I'm gonna head towards the B cap. I can't remember the name of this map, sorry. Now they've got B early, so I'm just gonna hold here. There's some smoke coming up. It's like a T-72. Well, that's Russian gun depression for you. I could shoot him, but he couldn't shoot me. Alright, kind of ignore B. Just gonna push down here. I want to cut off the enemies that are... Oh. I think I can see someone through this tree. Oh, I missed him. I can't really tell what it is at the minute. Looks big. Shilk. Why was there a shilker there? Kind of spawn pushing. Oh, to see something then. Looks like a Challenger. Challenger Mark II. Scummy. Oh, looks like we've got T80. Hit his ammo carousel. Not bad. Right, so our team's got a little bit of trouble. I think we did cap it. Oh, we've got some. Looks like 2. Shall we 2? Look at this great reload speed. And that's the second kill. So fast, this reloader. He's such a good little tank. Okay. Captured B. Not much has happened since. Oh, got a laser. Well, that's the laser warning receiver for you. As we got twatted by an ADATS. 6 kills though, can't really complain. A little bit scumbaggy, but... Alright, welcome to Advance to the Rhine. Halfway through a game really, I was a bit AFK. I joined a game and didn't realise I'd actually joined, so... I'm feeling it, lads. We're just going to go balls to the walls this one. We're going to play like it's arcade. Come on, let's go. It's probably going to get deleted. Oh shit, there's 2. Well, please reload, please reload, please reload. Come on. Right. Can we get this guy? Oh, that was a bit risky. Getting laser range fired. Is this from a helicopter? Gonna pop some smoke. A laser range. Is there another tank? Yeah, got a Italian little thing. Sidam. Well, that was a little bit dramatic. I didn't think. If I get 3 kills like that and then die to art, I'm gonna be pissed. That was quite dramatic though, really. Oh, is that a Gepard? Oh, that's 4 kills. Oh, I got another. Is it a leopard? Can we get him? Make it the ace? Oh, he's reversing out for me. Yeah, there we go. But this auto load is so good. Oh well, we kind of traded. No, he's got my gun and I think I only killed his loader, so I think this gameplay is over. I'm not sure how I got 5 kills there. It's a little bit. Oh well. There we go. As you can see, 5 kills. Pretty good. To conclude, I think that the CV9120 is an absolutely exceptional vehicle. I like this tank so much that I bought a talisman for it, and used it to grind out a good chunk of the remaining Swedish tech tree. It just combines all the qualities you'd want in a light tank, and in some areas, far exceeds them. Obviously, the armour is practically non-existent, but due to the vehicle's high mobility, this isn't really an issue. If you're exposing yourself to enemy fire, then you aren't playing this tank correctly. We then come to the gun, and it's hard to find a single criticism. It has a 5-second autoloader with a high capacity magazine, giving you a very high sustained fire rate. You then also have the highest penning round in the game, combined with an extra wide field of view in the gunner sight, as well as 3rd generation thermal imaging for both the gunner and the commander's sights. Possible critiques would be the rather low turret traverse, as well as the slightly below average gun depression, but this is being incredibly picky. I wholeheartedly recommend anyone to grind out this tank. It's very powerful, and more importantly it's great fun to play. However, if you're just starting to grind out the Swedish tech tree, I think I would still recommend people grinding out the Stridsvagn 122 first. It's a better all-round vehicle, and it's just more forgiving for new players in my opinion. But as always, it's important to remember that this is just my opinion, but what do you guys think about this Swedish glass cannon? If you have any questions, criticism, positive or negative, or would even like to request a review, please feel free to leave a comment below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If I did my job correctly, hopefully you should have learned something new about this tank. If you do enjoy these sort of videos, please do consider leaving a like and subscribing. But more importantly lads, I hope you have a great day, and thank you very much for watching.